I thought, Brad Pitt was going to suddenly contact me and find my email address and be like, baby, I've been waiting all this time for you to lose weight and now I'm in love with you.
Welcome back. We have Fierce Fatty Part 2. I just had to do another clip on Fierce Fatty. It's such low-hanging fruit. And today we're going to find out all about the fantasies involving Brad Pitt coming in and just swooping in and romancing Fierce Fatty. Now, I bet you even the men in the audience probably have had this fantasy about Mr. Pitt. I mean, come on, who hasn't, right? So I'm not going to say that she's like totally deranged for that. But at the end, Fierce Fatty is going to tell us all about how losing weight and getting thinner will not make you confident. That's not going to be a confidence builder. So stay tuned for that. If you missed my last episode on Fierce Fatty, I will link that above. And with no further ado, let's get into it.
I presumed that when I became small, all of this super cool stuff was going to happen in my life. And then some of it, now I look back and I'm like, that is so funny. Like, did you think that? And other things I'm like, oh, Victoria, oh, I understand. I feel for you. And it's not my fault that I believed in this magical thinking, because diet companies, and society as a whole hates fat bodies.
Well, I'm not sure how a diet can hate fat bodies. A diet is the kinds of food a person, animal, or community habitually eats. So how can a food hate you? As far as diet companies go, I don't believe that diet companies hate you. I think they love you. I mean, that's how they make money off of you. Just like McDonald's and Ben and Jerry's and all the big food companies, they're making money off of you. I don't think they hate you any worse than McDonald's does. When I had my oldest son, I gained quite a bit of weight with my first pregnancy, and I did Weight Watchers, and it was about $11 a week, and I thought that was a great deal. I saved a lot of money just in food. So that $11 was almost free. And I thought it was a really solid program. And I've been a personal trainer for 30 years. And I still think Weight Watchers is a really solid program. I really like it. And if I have a lot of weight to lose, I would probably go back to Weight Watchers. So I don't think they're scummy or hate fat people or anything at all. But the detox companies, they're predatory and they're scammy. And I still don't think they hate fat people. And I don't even think society as a whole hates fat people. I think the larger you are, probably the less likely you are to feel good about yourself. And I think that kind of perpetuates itself, and then other people don't feel good about you. I believe that, but I don't think society as a whole hates you. In fact, there's probably never been a better time ever for fat people than living in America today, where most of us are fat.
And makes it seem like having a thinner body or smaller body is going to get you these super cool things. So I'm going to list them out for you, and I'm curious if any of these resonate with you, if you've had these same feelings.
Okay, I want to play along. Let's do it.
So the first thing was around men. Like, I thought, Brad Pitt was going to suddenly contact me and find my email address and be like, baby, I've been waiting all this time for you to lose weight and now I'm in love with you. Obviously not actually Brad Pitt, but men basically would be like, oh my God, fall at my feet. It'd be like a movie scene, like I'd be walking down the street and men would be so distracted by my thinness that they'd walk into a lamp post and I'd be like, oh, just another day, thin me, just men falling over themselves to be near me, obviously.
Well, what woman that likes men, and at this time, Fierce Fatty's name was Victoria, and she identified as a she. Now, their name is Vinny, and they identify as a they, them. So you might hear me say they, them, her. Sorry if I misgender, but this whatever. I can't get it straight with this person all the time. So I can understand as a woman, you think that you look a certain way and men are just going to fall all over you. Now, I grew up, you talked about toxic diet culture. I grew up in the 80s. I was young in the 90s, and we had rail thin supermodels, tall, thin. I am short. I am stocky. That's just the way my bones aren't thin. I have big bones. I'm like peasant stock, right? So I always said if I just got thinner, all these boys would like me. And it took me a long time till I was in my 40s till I accepted this is it. This is what I am. And once you do that, you find that men aren't some monolith and all they want is skinny bodies. There's a lot of men that appreciate, muscles. They appreciate a strong woman. There's men that appreciate bigger women, fat women. So be the best who you can be the best version of yourself. And I promise you, you will find a lot of quality people who love you just the way that you are.
I thought that I would become richer, like money would rain from the skies, right? I'd get an immediate pay rise.
Yeah, wouldn't that be great if you just got skinny and you got an immediate pay raise? Man, I'd be like, with Ozempic, like every chance I got, if I could just, money would be like rain falling down. But that isn't the case. For the first time in the history of the world, though, we do now have the fact that the poorer you are, at least in America, usually the heavier you are. It used to be that the thinner you were, normally the poorer you were because you couldn't afford food. That's a whole nother discussion for a whole other time. But no, being thin does not automatically make you rich. Unfortunately, no one brings money just to shower on you and, confetti and a big parade. It's too bad though, right?
I also thought that I would become super confident. Now, at that time when I was working in a call center, I was so shy. I could barely talk to people on the phone. I would do everything I could to not have to talk to another human being. I I was just so different from what I was today. And so I thought that having less fat on my body would mean that my brain would change. And I'd be like, I've arrived. Now I'm confident.
Well, you know, I can think that most people can be confident being thin and they can be confident being heavy. But I believe, this is my opinion, and I will stand by that, that if you're confident when you're heavy, you'll be even more confident, not being thin, but being the fittest version of yourself, whatever weight that is. Okay. So I disagree with her, and I'm glad that she's more confident and not as shy now, but that could also just be you're maturing, right? I used to be more shy and I used to be scared of public speaking, and now it doesn't bother me at all. Most of that is just because I've gotten older, but I've been heavier and I've been leaner. And the leaner I am, the fitter I am, the more confident I am. I'm not saying I'm not confident when I'm older, but I hate that feeling of when you're heavier and you got to keep pulling your shirt away and you feel like you can't take pictures in a certain way. Of course, you're going to present yourself to the world as more confident, and I'll stand by that.
And my life in general, I thought it would become like this, magical, running through fields of flowers and rainbows and sunshine all the time. And I would be happy. And my life would be just better because I had less adipose tissue on my body. Like I thought my brain chemistry would change, and any mental health issues that I was dealing with would just dissolve away because now I'm thin, because thin people don't have problems, right?
Well, she's right in that. Being thin will not automatically make your life better. Bad things happen to fat people, bad things happen to thin people. When I was at my very, very leanest, when I was young, I was in my about 20 years old. I was only weighed maybe 117 pounds, and my mother died of colon cancer when she was only 43. and I had an alcoholic father who completely abandoned our family. Not trying to be TMI, I'm just saying all these really horrible things. That was the worst time of my life. And I had to try to go to college and scrape out a living and take care of my younger sisters. And it was incredibly difficult for me. So being thin did not shield me from the unhappiness of the world. But let me ask you this. Would my life have been better if I had piled on 100 or 200 pounds? Would that have made things better though? No, it would have just added one more problem to my list of already huge problems. So if you are, dare I say, thinner, leaner, fitter, that's one problem that you can just put over here and not have to deal with that. So when life's other problems hit, then you can deal with them so much better. You don't have this over here that you're trying to deal with at the same time. That's where I think she's not getting it, right?
I also thought that I would become healthy. I'd be an athlete. Like, I would love eating only salad, and I would have no interest in quote unquote unhealthy food. I'd probably be in the Olympics. Probably. At least I'd be, like some champion marathon runner. Not that I'd ever run a marathon before, but that's what happens when you're a thin person, right?
Okay, so Fierce Fatty has a lot of like wild takes on what thin people are like. Maybe she's never been thin. I don't know Fierce Fatty's like life history, if this person has ever been really thin and fit and athletic or not, but that's really ludicrous to think that all people that aren't obese are in the Olympics and running marathons and completely healthy. That isn't true. But I'm going to say it again. If you don't have an extra 200 pounds, you're a lot closer, right? I, at 61 years old, am a lot closer to being in the Olympics than probably Fierce Fatty is. And I'm guessing Fierce Fatty is a lot younger than I am. That's my guess. I don't know. So anyway, that's all I have for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Hey, give me a thumbs up if you like this video. I can't do this alone. So help a girl out. Help me out. Like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.